As Jason said, the common scenario with companies is policies and procedures. Often, users check in a new policy, and while they might send out an email letting everybody know that it's there, after that initial announcement, users might not be notified when it just gets updated, and everybody might just be working on the old policy as they knew it. And so since it isn't always reliable to have the author notify everybody every single time something changes, what's needed is an automated process. And so out of the box, if you go to the repository manager and go to the subscriptions tab, you'll see where you can set up subscriptions. And really, this isn't the most intuitive setup, and I think that leads a lot of people to underutilize it. When you set up these subscription types, it seems like you're really setting up the subscription, but you're really just setting up a group of fields that a subscription could be based on. So in our scenario, let's say we want to set something up so that all employees are notified when there is a policy update. So what I can do is come here and add this new subscription type. And as I mentioned, it's really, we're just creating what fields a subscription would be based on. And in this case, it's just the DDoc type. So I'm just gonna check that and click OK. So we have that, but there's not really a subscription there yet. And it doesn't make sense, but once you then click on the subscribers, you can then click add. And then this is where you more so set up the actual subscription. So in this case, I have this all employees alias that those are the people that are gonna be notified. So I want everybody to know this. And I want it to only happen for when the type is a policy procedure. So if I click OK and close out of that, I now have an actual subscription to notify all users. So if I were to do a quick search here, and I have this IT Vision policy, I could go ahead and check in a new version. And because I'm in the all employees alias, I should see a notification that this has been updated. Now, it takes up to 5 minutes for the content server to evaluate all of the subscriptions, so it might take a little bit for me to see that email come through. But in the meantime, one thing you can also do is allow somebody to self-subscribe. Because we set up these types, somebody could self-subscribe to content items based on their type. So I have this company certifications document here, and the type is in my, it's a training type that is really just the system. So if I go to Content Actions and click Subscribe, you can see that I could potentially subscribe to all items with that same type. So if I wanted to see what would happen if I subscribe to all training documents, I could go to Subscription Info and see what that looks like. So if I were to click the subscribe button, I could subscribe to all training documents, which would be nice if I want to stay up to date on all the different training manuals. It's also possible, based on what I had in the subscriptions, you can see I have a author type that's based on the author and security group. And because I set this up, a user could also decide to subscribe to something based on an author. So if you really want to follow somebody's work, you could allow that to happen. So the key here is that when you set up the subscriptions types, you're setting up what others can self-subscribe to. And it's an underutilized thing that the subscriptions tab is configured. Otherwise, out of the box, people really just can click the subscribe button. So in this case, if I just wanted to subscribe to company subscriptions, I can certainly do that too. And then if I do a checkout and check in, because I'm subscribed to that, I should eventually get an email for that too. Like I said, there is a possibly a 5-minute wait until the subscriptions are evaluated. So in the meantime, I will move on to our next scenario, which is to use Subscription Notifier to assist. So like I said, the out-of-the-box subscription capabilities are underutilized, but they are pretty basic. There isn't a whole lot you can do other than what I showed you. So in situations where we have a company policy and you want to make sure that everybody is aware of it, you might have company critical information you need to get out. We can use Subscription Notifier to help us, attach the document and possibly give a specific time to send out the notification. So I'm going to go ahead and display my Subscription Notifier subscription list. So you can see we have quite a large list here. I'm going to show you this one I created, which is just a procedures notification. And so this is going to send out notifications for any procedure where we specify a notification date. So in this case, if we look, I've got ignore schedule. If I uncheck that, we can actually specify when this would run. But I'm just gonna leave that checked so that it will basically run continuously. And so if we look at my subscription query, it's going to select everything with a policy, procedure, doc type, and where the notification date is in the past. So this means that once the notification date is reached, it will send out a message or notify users that this has been released. In addition, you'll see I have this attached content. So it's actually going to attach the documents right to the email, which will allow people to more quickly see the content, because if it's critical that everybody sees it, they're more likely to open an attachment and read it there rather than clicking on the link and logging in. So also in this case, I'm using an email template that allows me to specify a message. So in this case, I wrote something like, please review the attached updated procedure. I'm also using the iDoc script comments. So any comments that are supplied will also be, in the email as well. So they can get a little more details about what was updated. So I'm going to go ahead and show our office seating chart. We have this office seating chart, and in this scenario, let's say we are going to be rearranging the office a little bit. And in this case, I have my notification date down here, and we're just going to put that for today because we want to basically notify instantly, but this could allow for a delayed notification, when the time is right. I'm going to select our updated seating chart, and I'm also going to add some comments. In this case, we'll say that the marketing team, or the marketing department, has relocated to the east end of the building. I'm going to check that in. Now this subscription isn't enabled by default just because I don't want it to be running, but in most situations it would be regularly running because we are ignoring the schedule. But in this case, I'm going to just go ahead and manually run that. So in a little bit, I should get an email that indicates that the seating chart was, a new version was released. And hopefully I ran that after it was released. See if there's so if I look here, I got my notification that came through. We can see our messages here along with my comments. And normally you'd see the list of items that this is referring to, but in this case, I do want to see the new seating chart so I know where everybody's going to. So the next scenario I want to talk about is dealing with the side effects. For a given subscription, there's the option to do side effects. And in this case, I'm going to talk about the update metadata side effect. This basically allows you to update a metadata field for all matching content for that subscription. So in this scenario, let's say that I am going on leave and I need the ownership of all my documents to be reassigned to Jason. In this case, I can create a subscription that looks like this. I just named it Update Procedure Owner. It's going to select all procedures where I'm the owner. And in those cases, we're going to update that field to now be Jason, since he will be taking over for me. So if I go back to our office seating chart, you'll see that I'm the owner and we want that to change to Jason. There could be hundreds of content items that I'm the owner of, and if something gets updated, I might we might need that owner field to notify somebody else when it goes through workflow. There might be some logic attached to that field. And so in this case, we want to be able to update 100 items at once and be done with it. So in this case, I can go ahead and just run that subscription. It's going to select all items where I am the owner of and update that to JSON. So if I come back to that item, since I was the owner of this is the office seating chart, and I hit refresh, you can see it's now Jason Lehman. So this is a huge time saver, as it would take a long time to individually update I'll do metadata updates on every single content item. And the last thing I want to point out as another subscription side effect is that I can come through, if we look at this subscription, I basically am querying all policies that have been expired for more than a year. One major problem with policies is that if you have outdated ones floating around, they can cause confusion, and old expired content still takes up disk space. So in this case, I can show you that we have a content item here, and I might have already deleted that. So the content item, I think I might have already ran this. So in this case, the subscription would select all of those items, and it looks like I must have already accidentally hit that one. So it deleted my content item that had been expired for over a year simply by using the delete revision side effect. So that allows things to be cleaned up with very little effort. And with that, back to Jason.
Again, for more information on subscription Notifier or any Fishbowl Solutions value add tools for WebCenter, you can find that information on our website and through social media. Again, I'll just mention that this webinar being recorded will be added to our WebCenter tips and tricks landing page, so you can find it there. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.